This is my school project, and I'm at KARE 11 News, and we're going to go meet some people right now.
Now, with Paul Majors, Diana Pierce, Ken Barlow, and Randy Shaver, you're watching KARE 11 News at 10.
This is Paul Majors, an anchor person. How did you get your job?
How did I get my job?
Yeah.
Well, KARE 11 called me up at the place where I was working in San Diego, California, and asked me if I would be interested in coming here to work. So I met with those people and flew here, and we chatted over the course of a couple of months, and eventually reached an agreement where I said, yeah, I'd like to come there and work. And here I am.
Hennessy is currently on paid medical leave, but she and her attorney insist that she was, in effect, fired by Mo.
Do you ever get sad when you read a news story, and what do you do when you feel like crying?
I do get sad, because we have a lot of sad stories on the air. There have been many times when I have been tearful or teary-eyed, perhaps even on the air, even when they've come back from the stories, and I try to think about other things or other things that I am grateful for if I'm really upset about the story, or I try to think about maybe positive things for the family that's affected. So, but it's hard. There's a lot of sad stories that we cover.
There's the sleet and snow and just a mess.
This is Ken Barlow, and he's going to tell us about his job. How do you get your information for the weather?
I get a lot of information, these weather maps right here. They come to me from Washington.
Okay.
And it's a computer forecast, and the computer tells me what it thinks is going to happen.
Okay.
And then it's up to me whether or not to believe the computer. So I get most of my information from Washington and from the National Weather Service in Minneapolis.
The women's basketball team at the U of M closed out the Big Ten regular season today.
Do you think that TV gives enough coverage of girls and women's sports?
Well, I think we're trying. I think that women and girls are fighting an uphill battle because men and boys have been doing it for so much longer. There's a lot of established interest in a lot of those teams, so we're trying to be better about it. As a matter of fact, I just got done recording a women's basketball game from the University of Minnesota. We'll have those highlights tonight at 10 o'clock. So we show more. Do we show enough? I guess if you ask 10 different people, they might give you 10 different answers, but all I can say is it's getting more coverage than it used to, and we're trying to be better about it.
This is Melissa. She's going to tell us about her job.
Weekend assignment editor.
Okay, what do you do?
Well, one thing, should I tell you the worst part of my job first?
Yeah.
This is the absolute worst. Hate this part, would not wish this upon my worst enemy. All these things right here. These are what we call police scanners. So, see how that says Minneapolis Police?
Yeah.
That's Minneapolis Police talking right there.
Huh?
The policeman is talking to another policeman.
And 367 if you want to.
Here's voice.
304 checking the car, and 340 sounds like he's going to the house where the two walked in.
So basically, I can listen. And I can listen for like, if someone gets shot, or if there's a big car accident on the highway and stuff. So I have to listen to all of these. Every single one, and somehow I have to make sense of it.
We got fire in the attic! Command, this is Squad 1. We've got fire in the attic. We need somebody to open up the roof.
This is my Uncle David. He's a news photographer. In school, we saw the piece that you did called Get Out Alive about fire safety. Can you tell us about that piece for a while?
Well, that piece was really hard to do. We had to have lots of cameras that we used in the story. We had cameras mounted on firefighters' helmets, and we had cameras mounted on a fire truck, and we had a camera that I was carrying, and all those different cameras were really important to show how fires burn from the inside out and how hard it is to fight a fire.
KARE 11's Dave Wildemuth is live in Cushing tonight with the latest on this story for us. David?
Well, Paul, as you can see, Highway 10 behind me is still closed down. That's 5 miles towards Randall. That whole road is closed down, and we still don't have an official cause for this crash.
When you cover a story where there has been violence, do you ever get scared?
You know, I've covered enough stories like that I really don't get too scared. Sometimes there's some situations where you wish you weren't there, and you wish you didn't have to see what you were seeing. But I don't think we get too scared anymore. But sometimes if you're not scared on a story, You probably should be, because you're not human if you're not.
Well, if you come over here, I'll show you what an editor does. An editor takes, in television, an editor takes pictures and puts them together to tell a story pictorially. So tonight's little story will be about NSP repairing homes. And so someone went out and shot these pictures of NSP restoring power to homes, and now I have to make it match a script that a producer has written. So I have to make the pictures match these words. So with these two machines, I will edit the pictures that were shot in the field today and make a story out of it. So here's NSP working, so I'll make the first shot, these two people on a ladder, and I'll set the machine up to start the edits. And now you'll see that picture. I told it to cue this shot up and it'll put it on this tape. See? And then I can put these pictures in any order that I'd like.
This is Dana, and he's a producer. He writes the news.
I like to think about what kind of stories are going to affect people's lives.
How do you make sure you are telling the truth in the news and your news stories?
Well, what you want to do is get your facts from the people who are closest to the story, the people who would know. You know, I was talking about the speeding story. If you talk to, this afternoon, we're going to talk to the head of the State Patrol. Now, he's a guy who you would think would know about, about the issues and about speed limits and stuff, because that's how he makes his living. And, he's like, the top cop.
I'm Jimmy Dean, I'll take Ralph. No, don't worry about him.
You seem to be so cool and calm on TV. Do you ever get nervous?
Well, you're a very perceptive young girl. And sometimes, yes, I occasionally get nervous. But, I've learned sort of over the years how to control my nervousness.
Wind chills also. This morning we started out very, very cold.
Is it hard to point at the weather map when you have a blank screen in back of you?
It is hard because it's like looking in a mirror, and it takes a lot of practice. It's not hard now, but when I first started, it was.
Now, with Paul Majors, Diana Pierce, Ken Barlow, and Randy Shaver, you're watching KARE 11 News at 10.
I hope you enjoyed meeting all these people at KARE 11 News. I had a fun time. I hope you did too.
See you later.
Good night.